What's going on, everybody? Hope you are awesome. Andy Murphy here, as always, your mental performance expert for CEOs, founders, high performers, and entrepreneurs. So welcome. This is the second week we're doing this, which is pretty awesome. I'm excited about it, So make sure that you're tuning in every single Tuesday or Thursday, I should say, unless something goes wrong. And then make sure you're checking in at the end of every month. I'm going to be doing a private special training, which is going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool because it's not going to be available to everybody. No, it's going to be a private training on Zoom, away from social media, and it's going to be massive value. So make sure that you're tuning in every Thursday, and then make sure you're tuning in at the end of the month. So today, what little tip are we going to give you today? Well, I just put out my, changing the background, is that better? Yeah, it's a little, I just put out my 300th episode of the Mindset by Design podcast. If you're watching this and you don't know what that podcast is, go and check it out. We've nearly on the way to doing 2 million downloads. We've had some of the top world-class guests, from Bruce Buffer from the UFC to everyone you can imagine, some of the top people on the internet and everyone else in between. World champion athletes, everyone. It's just so cool to look inside people's minds. And what episode 300, think about that, 300 hours of me talking, a lot of hours. So think about that. The topic was procrastination is a lie, okay? So if you're going through this right now, if you're freezing, if you are literally not performing, or you've dipped in performance, then what I want to show you is an understanding around what? Procrastination. It's a lie. It's a lie. And it's something I really believe, and I've taught for thousands of people all over the world for the past 19 years. And one of the things you've got to understand about procrastination is, well, we got to go back to basics, right? Because everyone's on different wavelengths. So what I want you to understand, first of all, is the neurology, your brain, your mind, if you want to call it that, is a muscle. Plain and simple, right? If you've been pumping a muscle, right, for 20 or 30 years, that muscle is big, thick, and strong. It's also easy to do that habit. Whether the habit's good or bad, self-destructive or real positive, the thing is your brain just replicates and wants to complete a cycle, okay? So if we treat it as a muscle, okay, then what you've got to understand is the version of you, who's the old you, has a certain way of seeing the world. Make sense? It's been built up from everything that's ever happened to you, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the highs, that's led you to seeing the world as you are now. Okay, makes sense? Certain beliefs about yourself, the future, the past, how you value money, scalability of your business, and who you are, right? It affects our self-talk. It goes on, right? And when you start to understand that, old you, muscle, well, what my job is and what I do is we build new people. We build new versions of you, hyper-performing versions of you. This is whether it's world champions, whether you're doing IPO, whether you're getting a startup, a business going, or you are scaling or want to go to the next stage, or you just dipped in performance, but you know you're a badass, okay? Whatever it is, the thing is, this isn't about personal development. This isn't self-help. What I do is mental performance. So what does that mean? Controlling this, designing this. So it's automated. So you think, feel, and act in a certain way in any situation. Sound good, right? That's the idea. So now you understand that this is a muscle, right? And we can be pumping what we want or what we don't want. It depends. Then the next stage is when you start understanding about the brain, is the brain, as it so said you before, it repeats, right? Cycles and patterns. It just wants to complete patterns. So what happens then is this old you gets stuck. Yeah, it gets stuck. And I've said this for years, but Einstein said it best. He did. We get boxed in by the boundary conditions of our thinking. The heck does that mean, Andy? Well, it means you get stuck. Yeah, you get stuck inside of this box. You get stuck inside of your world, right? That's like the 9 to 5 people who were in 9 to 5 jobs. Nothing wrong with that. But it becomes more and more difficult to break outside of this box, right? Because what's inside this box? Well, everything that you know is inside this box. Your brain wants has a default setting, and it searches for comfort. Plain and simple, right? It searches for what it knows because it wants to keep you safe. So if you're inside this box right now and you're working your ass off, understand this. Everything you want is over here. It's on the outside of this box. So your brain is stepping into the unknown, right? This box, your world, tiny little thing, right? Happened from everything that's happened in the past that led you up to seeing the world right now. On the same page? Beautiful. You work your ass off inside of this box. Everything you want outside, it's over here. The millions of dollars, the happiness, the freedom, the time freedom, everything that you want is over here. The challenge is this box and who you are now will never, I'll repeat this again, never get you what you want outside of this box. It won't. It just won't. Because this version of you sees the world a certain way. That is a version of you. The version that we build in FireMind, okay, is a totally world-class you. That's it. Because when you get a new idea, when you get excited about something, how does the future look? Infinite, right? How does money look? How does scalability look? How does this mission that you're on look? Right? It looks easy. Your effort's there, your drive there. The brain chemicals are in place, right? Your filter in your brain is literally allowing you to experience this different world. Makes sense? This is literally why you can be depressed, right? Oh, I'm depressed. Then someone walks in the room where you haven't seen in years and you're like, hey, good to see you. Then what happens? They leave the room and you're all pumped up. Then what happens? Oh, I'm depressed, aren't I? I remember. Woof, right back into this box. So that's how fast we switch this software. That's how fast we can switch who you are, but that's how fast we can switch you into a fire state or a peak state, right? It's like an athlete getting to compete, right? They're about to kick the ball or step in a ring. They are set up or conditioned to and ready, primed in the brain, ready to perform that way. Well, the thing is, that's how it should be in business. The thing is, that's how it should be in life. It really, really should. Because when you start to understand controlling your mind controls who you are. You control who you are, then you're able to perform under any amount of pressure. And I've seen it all. I've got people on TV sets. I've seen it all with Hollywood producers. I've worked with Hollywood actors. I've worked with world champion athletes. And it's all the same thing, right? To transition from the old you and the game day. That's it. And if you can learn to do that, then what happens is you can perform. So, procrastination. Right? That's the video, procrastination. So what I want you to understand is that when we step outside of this old box, there's an alarm that goes off in your brain. Bing, 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 bing. And the alarm is, are you safe? Right? So if we haven't built this version of you, we haven't conditioned, we haven't made this version of you, if we haven't got clarity on where we're going with the drive, the mission, the business, then the challenge becomes is that we step outside of this box, the old box, right? Are we safe, says the brain. Well, if we haven't preconditioned what we're doing, we feel like we're not safe. right? If we don't have purpose, if we don't have direction, if we don't have these mental tools to control and interrupt patterns and change memories and change our feelings and change our focus in the instant, if we don't have these tools, the challenge is that alarm that goes off when we step outside of the unknown into the unknown. Well, it becomes right. It becomes correct, right? So this is why procrastination happens. Because the alarm system's going off, we don't know where we're going, so we feel insecure. So that's what happens in the brain. Fight, flight, or what is it? Fight or flight or freeze. Yeah. So procrastination is really a response to what? To not knowing where we're going, to not being neuro-conditioned, right? To not being able to have mental control. That's why we procrastinate. Does that make sense? So really, procrastination is a lie, because I can go into this for a long time. Go and listen to the 300th episode. But it's really, we're not in alignment. Does this make sense? So last thing I'll leave you with today, because we're on 11 minutes and I keep trying to keep these to 10. If you love baseball, right? You knew everything about baseball, love baseball, got all the cards, got all the games, watch baseball. You love baseball, right? How motivated are you to do baseball? Pretty damn motivated. If then I took that person who loves baseball and put them into, I don't know, let's use a classic one, martial arts, right? We put them into a ring. Are they going to be motivated? No, they're not going to be motivated. They're not going to have the same passion. They're not going to want to do it. So they are going to create resistance and sabotage. So if you start to understand these two worlds, then procrastination is a lie. It's just misalignment. But I can go on and on and on. But I'd love to know, to see your comments. I'd love to know what you thought of this, what the ahas you got out of this, what questions you have, and comment below, whatever platform you're on, because this is going to lots of different platforms. So make sure that you're heading over to firemind.me, right? .me. Get your mornings dialed in. Tune up your unconscious mind in the morning. Or go to firemind.me/apply for FireMind. Apply-for-FireMind. Why? Because then you can find out what the community, the FireMind formula is all about, and why it is one of the most unique experiences that you're going to go through as a business owner and an entrepreneur if you are ready to ramp up and hit that next level. If that's you, comment below too. I'd love to have a chat. Until then, much love, much love. AndyMurphy.biz is my website. And I'll see you next Thursday. Put it in your calendar. You're going to love it. Speak to you soon. Have an amazing week.